This is set number 71004, the Collectible Minifigures The Lego Movie series. We finally made it to not only collecting all 16 figures, but also, as of this video, this is the first review I make of an entire Collectible Minifigures series. No other series beforehand has been entirely completed and reviewed, but we will have some other series reviewed later on. For most part, we've been doing these as individual reviews, but I'll talk more about what we're going to do for this one in just a sec. Ages 5 and up, 16 minifigures, released in 2013 and 2014. They have a variety of pieces between them, but on average, they have about 6 or 7 pieces per figure, and this retails for $3 each. Did I mention ages 5 and up? Well, now I did. So, let's take a closer look at our packaging and details in just a sec. I just need to get one of the packages. But, let me just tell you, it's going to be a little bit different for this video, because I've done previous LEGO set reviews with each of these minifigures, and I don't want to do it too long for you guys. I want to make it as convenient as possible. So, what I'm going to do in this video, as you're going to see, I'm going to show off one package. Here's just a sample of the packages you find for this series. I do apologize with the rip in the corner, but it gets to show you some of our minifigures, and it has a giant Lego movie on the top. Doesn't really say if it's a series number. Then we have it on the back. I'm not going to show the dot codes for this series. As you guys know, it's very difficult to use dot codes. I mean, it's possible, but it's a very difficult thing to do. For me personally, I like to look for the texture in the packages. Seems to be a little bit better as far as finding them than trying to use the dot codes. Here we have our checklist for the series. And I tried to set up all the minifigures in the same way for this. Well, at least I have row, and then behind it I have another row, so you can see it as set up there. Somewhat similar to the checklist shown on this paper. And then on the back of here, we get to see the Lego Movie advertisement. The Lego Movie in the Lego.com/movie in the corner. And on the bottom, you get to see this little QR code. Basically, when you scan that code using a QR reader from your smartphone, or if you had an app for it, it allows you to see the small link to a page where you get to, I believe it has the trailer for the Lego Movie on that page, but it also has access to the app, the Lego Movie Experience app, available from the App Store for iOS devices. So, what I was saying before, what we're going to do with this series, we're going to go through each minifigure, just show off what they look like all the way around with all the pieces, and if they have any hidden faces or anything like that. I'll talk about the actual figures themselves after we go through and see everyone. I do apologize if I have to keep jump cutting the video, but I try to make it less time consuming for you guys. So let's get right into it. We're going to start off with number 1, Calamity Drone. I'll talk about the figure's details a little bit later. Right now we're just going with what the figure is. So first up, let me just move the lighting a little bit. There we go. We have Calamity Drone. Just want to let you know there are no back faces to this figure, but there is a lot of back detail on her torso. So that's our first figure. Next up is number 2, Lord Business. Well, actually, this version of him is just President Business. The difference between this one and the one in the set is he has an open jacket, doesn't have it buttoned, and he also has some different facial printing. He does not have any printing on the back, except for on his head. There we have him. Number 3 in the series is Hat Emmett. This is the only version of Emmett that you get where he has a hard hat, and also has some unique facial details. Let's get a close look at that instruction manual for how to live. I don't remember the entire name of it. It's a long name. I'll show you a little bit better detail of his face. He does have a double-sided face, but for my figure personally, it doesn't have it straight across the back. It's actually tilted on the side for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why that is. We'll put this hair back on him so you can see how that looks. And then I'll twist it around to the front. Number 4, we have Wild West Wild Style. This is the Wild West version of her, as we do see in the movie. She does have some back printing. She does not have a double-sided face, unlike other versions of Wild Style. Number 5, we have Abraham Lincoln. I'll give you a better look at his face right here. And this is one giant molded piece, a little bit flexible. He does have a little piece of paper that says, as best can be seen printed, it says 7 years ago with an ellipsis. But if you look really closely, you could try to make out some of the other words on the bottom. Not really intended to be read as much as the words on top. But you can still make out all men are created equal down here, as far as I can tell. I'll give you another closer look at his torso on its own. And no back details at all. Let me just put this hat on so you can see it all the way around as well. And there's Honest Abe. Number 6 in the series, we have Ms. Scratchin' Post, and we have one of her cats as well. We'll take off her hair so you can see her torso printing and leg printing a little bit better. You can see she has some kind of scratches on her. Maybe it's a kind of sweater she's wearing. Here's a closer look at the cat. And then we have her back printing. Nothing really there. And we'll put the hair on again so we can spin her around, seeing the hair on all sides. That's her. Number 7, we have Scribble Face Bad Cop. Now, this side doesn't really have the Scribble Face on it right now, but you'll get to see that in just a bit. I'm going to move his arms down so you can see his torso a little bit better. And I'll take his hat off so we can see his very scorn. Sorry, I did not say that correctly, but I meant the scorn on his face. You know he's angry. Sorry about that. You can see he has a little cell phone. Let me just put in a little bit better detail by putting it on the edge of his hand. Let me see if this will work. Alright, that works. You can see the full detail for that cell phone. And then as we spin him around to the back, he has no back printing, but he does have a double-sided face. So there's a hat in that position with his own scribbled face on there. There is our Scribble Face Bad Cop. Number 8, we have William Shakespeare. Let me just move his arms once again so we can see his torso printing a little bit clearer. And we can see his face pretty good. Now, the little piece of paper that he has is just a simple, what's the word? It's literally made to be a piece of paper as opposed to Abraham Lincoln where it's like a stack of papers. This one says, to build or not to build. In a nice fancy script based on the play that he wrote, Hamlet. He also has a little quill pen in his hand. You can spin him around. He has no back details. He does have some leg details. Next up at number 9, we have Gail the construction worker. Let me just move her jackhammer out of the way so that we can see her torso and leg printing a little bit better. Very well printed for a female construction worker figure. You can see a look at her face. We got some wrinkles and some little scratches. As we turn her to the back, she just has one face, and she still has some back printing. And there we have a look at her hairpiece, which is attached to the hard hat. Number 10, we have Larry the Barista. We'll take a look at his cup first, because it is a new piece, and a printed piece at that, with a little smiley face on it. His legs are a little bit different than you might expect. He's got a little sign on here that says Larry, if you look really close. Here's a better look at his face. As we turn him to the side, you can see that his legs are actually a bluish color for the pants, instead of a brownish color. And he has no back printing. I'll put the hair back on so we can see it a little bit clearer. There we go. You can see those little hairlines. And it does cover over his face. Next at number 11, we have Velma Staplebot, the robot secretary. We'll take a look at her torso printing first. Her little clipboard that says Super Secret Plan Taco Tuesday. And then we'll have her rotate around a bit. We can see that nice hairpiece. Very unique. Just take off the hair, and you can see there's no printing on the back. We'll put it back on. There's Velma. Number 12, we have Taco Tuesday Guy. Now this one's going to be a very interesting way we're going to do this. I'm going to take the accessories off first, so that we can just see him in the plain, well, not entirely plain form yet. We'll take off most of the accessories after a quick spin around. You can see how the sombrero kind of makes a curve as we turn him around. Disregard any background noise. Here's a closer look at his face where he's winking. Nice little mustache. You can see on the sombrero we have a nice little festive printing. Let's hold up that plate to see the little inside details on it. Come on. Come on, this shouldn't take too long. There we go. You can see it has some little chilies and some nice little festive background on the plate. We got two of these little 1x1 tiles as either a taco or a potato or some kind of tortilla chip, I think. Now as we take off the head, I'll show you a little bit more of the detail underneath him. You can still see his leg printing just fine. Another festive design. And we have the light green torso, no printing on it at all. We have two pieces on here that are exactly the same for the poncho. There's a nice design, zigzags all around. So I'll put this all back on, and we'll get back to our figures. Sorry that this is taking so long. I know we have to get through this, so let me just fit that back on nicely. Got the dish, fit it in his hand. Sometimes a little hard to put it in his hand like this. You could also put it in like this. And we can just drop it in there. Coming in at number 13 is Where Are My Pants Guy? Now in the Lego Movie video game, he's mentioned as his name is Lenny, I believe. Correct me in the comments if that's incorrect. So we have very basic detail on him. He has what looks like he's wearing underwear. We also have an extra pair of pants with him. The pants that he was supposed to find. We got this nice tropical looking shirt and a good genuine smile. On the back we have no printing whatsoever. And he does not have a double-sided face. So there we have Where Are My Pants Guy. Next up for number 14 we have Wily Fuse Bot. Another robot figure from this series. Disregard the sound effects in the background. We got lots of torso printing on him, if you can see. And also even some leg printing looks great on him. And just take off... Well, let me spin around first and then we'll show the inside details. He's got a gun and he's got a stick of dynamite. He does have some back printing, but once we take that coonskin cap off of him, we'll be able to see it a little bit better. And he also has an extra piece for what looks like a beard. Here is our hat. Here is a better look at the torso and the face. You can see that nice face. It's got what looks like wrinkles on the sides, but actually just nuts and bolts. You can see his torso better. And then you can see it on this side. And then we have this small piece. That is our beard that goes on here. Let me just show you again how to put it on. We put it on top of the neck before we put on the head. And it just kind of slides into place. There is Wily Fuse Bot. Number 15, we have the Panda Suit Guy. What he has with him is a small panda bear. I'm not really sure if it's supposed to be an actual panda bear or if it's supposed to just be a stuffed version. I think in either case it would be, you know, kind of a nice little live one. I don't know if it would actually be standing at a young age, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. So for the Panda Guy's outfit, we can see that he has black legs, but he has this nice white printing on it, and the white hips are just regular. On his white torso, he has a little bit of black printing, so it's kind of like a zebra effect. White with black, black with white. You can see his eyes through the mask. And you can see it's some nice details on here to make the colors work. On the back of his torso, we get this zipper, which shows that it is a costume. And you can also see on the back of the panda bear, it's kind of plain, but not too bad. As we take off the helmet, here we have no back side to his face, but we do have a front side where it's a little sweaty, and he's got his tongue sticking out kind of playfully. So he's a playful character. There is Panda Suit Guy. Last, the number 16 of the Collectible Minifigures series, we have Marsha, the Queen of Mermaids. Very nice detail on her, some very unique colors for her as a mermaid. Let's take a look at some of those. On the torso and on the, well, not legs, but we have a tail. Some nice little sparkling scale pieces that are shown on there. We got the nice little necklace and also the seashells used. If you look on top of her head, this is a printed part. We have a piece of seaweed and a starfish, or a sea star. As I take off this hairpiece, you can see how that looks. And we'll just get a better look at her face. Some nice little makeup details. We'll spin her around to take a look at the tail all the way around. See how large that tail is. And there is no printing on the back of her whatsoever. Let me put it back on with the hair so you can see that in comparison to the body. And they also show, they don't show it on the figure itself, but you can use the clam to put into the gem, or put the gem into the clam, sorry. It won't close the entire way, but you can still fit it in there as if it's an oyster with a pearl or something like that. You can also close up the entire clam and clip it on like so. You also have the ability to hold it on her hand, just as you can fit it on any peg or stud of Lego pieces. I'll put the gem back on her hand, and there we have it. Okay, so we've gone through all the figures now. I'm really not sure what to do, because I'm kind of doing this impromptu as far as a figures review. But I think the next thing I'd like to point out would be the new pieces in this series. So we're going to take apart all these figures, and we're going to have only the new pieces introduced in 2014 to this series, just like I've done with other Lego sets before, so that we'll get to see all the new things that are offered through these minifigures. Recolors are not included, and if I am incorrect about some pieces, then let me know in the comments. Why are all the minifigures bald? Well, what I have here, I'm just showing off some of the new pieces that we get in 2014 from the Collectible Minifigures series. Now, I'm not going to go through every single part, because I've already shown them on the figures themselves and talked about them briefly. But I'm just going to set them off to the sides so you can see them in separation from each other. You saw which pieces went to each figure, and some of these you do get in some other sets. A lot of these I'm actually surprised to see are hair pieces, but we do get a few that are used for neck pieces. We get one that's used as, well, one that's used as a neck piece, one that's used as a hair add-on, I guess. And then we have one that's used as like an accessory, like, you know, the latte from the Barista. So we're just going to scan over those. You can see them a little bit better. And I do apologize, I don't have them at every angle, but I will have an extra video which will go more in depth as far as each of these pieces, including textures and what to look for in the packages. That's going to be an extra video, although it would be appropriate for the review, but I don't want to make the review too long, so that's why I'm taking it out. If you want to see more about that, check the link in the description for more info. Since this collectible minifigure series is based on the Lego movie, I'll do a little bit of talking about a post-movie review. Basically, we get to see almost all of these characters throughout the movie. Now, we also get to see all of them in the video game, but I don't recall seeing all of them in the movie specifically. Now, the only ones I can't think of seeing are the Calamity Drone and Wily Fuse Bot. Everyone else, you get to see them either in the background or the foreground as far as any action in the movie. But you do see some of the figures like Abraham Lincoln, Panda Suit Guy, and Marsha, Queen of Mermaids, and William Shakespeare. They're shown in the background as master builders, but they don't take any real frontal action, except for Abraham Lincoln, who has, like... Sorry about that, I ran out of battery. But basically, all these figures, except for two, you get to see in the movie in some portion, whether in a simple scene, like for a few seconds, or if they have an actual line. But it's very interesting to look at. I do like seeing all these figures in the movie. They are appropriate for the scenes that they're needed for. You know, I like seeing that we have a couple of these in this, you know, based on the movie. We get to see some of the master builders as actual Lego pieces, such as William Shakespeare, Marsha, Abraham Lincoln, and the Panda Suit Guy. It's nice to get some that are either repeated themes or main characters throughout the movie, such as Bad Cop, Wild Style, Emmett, President Business, or like a repeating theme, you know, Where Are My Pants Guy. So, and then we just have like a few incidentals that just help build up some of the Lego cities, such as Larry, Gail, Taco Tuesday Guy, and Ms. Scratch and Post. Now, being a full series review, what I want to do in this one, I want to mention how this series compares to other series that have previously been released, even though I haven't reviewed those in a full review yet. But I also want to talk about how these figures work together for this series, because I think that's the main thing that would be important when collecting collectible minifigures, is how they all work together. Now, we know that all of these are tied in with the Lego movie in one capacity or another. But if I were to take a look at them, you know, they have a lot of character to them, they have a lot of different colors, and they have a lot of different ideas. You know, we have a collection of some of them being historical, such as William Shakespeare and the Abraham Lincoln. We also have some being comical or funny in a way, just by appearance, such as Where Are My Pants Guy and Panda Suit Guy. We have some that are critical to the story, as mentioned before, and, of course, Bad Cop. And I also forgot to mention, I guess you could consider him colorful / part of the story. We have some of the robots. Now, I know people didn't actually like how we got, you know, 3 robots, but I actually like these variations because it breaks it up from all the other variants for robots that we get in the Lego movie sets, such as, well, you know, you get these robot SWAT guys tons of times in the sets, but even like in, I think, I'm trying to remember what the set name is. I have it up here, but I don't remember what it's called. Getaway Glider. That has some more unique robot ideas, and also, you know, with these 2 figures, expands the Western world. Now, a bunch of these I've mentioned in previous reviews. You know, you can't really use this one for minifigure use because they have a robot skin. on the torso, so it's harder to use the same dress. However, these two you could easily just take off the hands and change the skin tone of them to make them work with regular minifigures. Let's see. A lot of these, I can't really say that they're reusable. I mean, you know, you can use them in other ways very easily, but I mean, you can't really have them, what's the word? You can't really get multiples of them unless you got, well, you could get like Emmett and Gail and multiples if you wanted to make a construction yard. But you also have it just being like those two forms unless you have other city construction members. Not too bad though, because you just have to change the head, and you could just try to disregard Emmett having his name tag on his torso. But it still works well, you know, to change those figures a little bit and use them for more construction workers. We have a lot of them being unique though, but I'll get into that in just a sec. You could use, you know, more of the Wear My Pants guy if you wanted to add some tourists or, you know, special suits for people. You could always have more coffee guys, you know, so that introduces a new idea. Some people buy Larry just for the cup, but I think it's also nice to get him for the torso printing as well, you know, to change it up and make it into more figures. Bad Cop you could make into, you know, a police force if you wanted to. Let's see. There's Present Business. You could change him up and make a whole bunch of different suits for people. You know, like just to add another variation for the types of suits that we get for torsos. And there's a couple other ones that you could just, you know, they're a little bit more unique. So I don't know how you can really get duplicates of those and use them effectively. I mean, you could also do the same with Abraham Lincoln as you could do with Present Business. But that also might, you know, wear down after some time. Taco Tuesday guy, you get multiples of him, because they do have multiples of that almost exact figure. But there's a bunch of unique ones. Shakespeare, Miss Scratch and Post. The mermaid, I can't see it being reused, you know, in duplicates. I gotta catch my breath. Because, well, just look at her. I mean, unless you have some other types of mermaids, you can mix and match the different body parts. Maybe you could do that, but it will get old very quick. The Panda Suit Guy, you probably only want one of them, because I can't imagine having multiples of those, unless you have a good use for them. The robot outfits, like I said, this one won't work so well with, you know, making it into... I mean, keeping them as robots, you probably would get old very quick, so they're kind of is like supposed to be unique on that purpose. But I guess you could use this one if you wanted to get multiples and change up the outfits. You could probably do the same with the secretary, but you're just gonna have to change her pants because the pants actually has robot skin on them. This one again is it can be done, but it's also kind of unique as an outfit. So what I like about a bunch of these, you know, you can use duplicates if you want to, but I don't really see it going too far outside of it. I hope that makes sense to you. Now, compared to other series, I don't really know what to make for this one. I mean, we don't get a lot as far as new accessories, but we get a lot of pre-used ones that are just easier to or cheaper to find. We get a lot of those 1x2 and 2x2 and 2x2 pieces. You know, used for different clipboards, or scrolls, or stacks of papers, or instruction books, or cell phones. So definitely a reuse of a bunch of pieces. You know, we also get like a little bowl with some. I still can't determine if they're tacos or if they're like tortilla chips. You know, we got the nice mug. So, you know, like a bunch of these accessories are nice, but I can't really see this being like one of the more colorful ones. Although they have different purposes for each minifigure, they still, I guess the Lego Movie is the thing that ties them together the most. Because on their own, I don't really know how far you could really take these, but as they're from the Lego Movie itself, you could, you know, you just kind of feel like they would go with that. So I hope that makes sense. And for right now, that's all I can think of for this video. So overall, I really like this collectible minifigure series. I like how we got these different figures, lots of different variations. They're not too similar to the ones from the sets, but they work out very well. Just, you know, getting them from the hype of the Lego movie. I guess that's the best way to put it. And, you know, I enjoy having these. I could probably use them in some other places. Not sure how far, but I think I've already used Emmett and Gail for some pictures. And I don't think I used anyone else yet, but I can still try to use them. But I'll most likely keep them with the Lego Movie collection instead of with the collectible minifigures. Because that's, again, it seems like they just belong to that. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I apologize about the time. Maybe a little bit long. But I hope this works out. Let me know how I did for my first series review, because I've never really done these before with the entire 16 figures, and it was an interesting experience to try to go over all of these at one time. If you want to see the individual thoughts for each of these figures and more information and maybe a little bit better close-ups, you can check the links in the description to each figure below. They've individually been reviewed. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you later.